Welcome to Gotham City, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Blitzwinger, and I have a quick question for you. When you think of the DC Universe villains, who is the one villain that you think of as quite possibly the biggest, most important villain? I'll give you a second here. I'll give you another second. I'll give you another. Okay, maybe we should go on ahead and move along here. For me, it would be the one and only, the Clown Prince of Crime, Joker. And so today we're going to go on ahead and customize 12 different variations of the Joker, and we're going to take a look at all these different versions. I look forward to hearing from you guys in the comment section below as to who is your personal favorite of the entire bunch that we showcase here today. But in addition to that, I know that oftentimes when I do these types of videos, a lot of you guys will suggest some really cool redesigns for the characters. So I challenge you not just to leave a suggestion, but to go on ahead and create these different Jokers that you come up with. And then, if you can, tag me on Instagram or Twitter to share your designs. And what I'm going to do is, whenever I do the next type of video of this kind where I showcase 12 different designs, I will actually showcase some of your designs so that you get a shout out as well. And so with all that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's get rocking and rolling. It's time to take a look at 12 different Jokers. And so let's kick things off with my redesign of the Joker. So this is pretty much if I was assigned to design Joker within the Lego Games universe, this is the Joker design that I would go for. I really think that I tried to kind of combine multiple different looks, whether it be much more of a Heath Ledger cinematic kind of feel, but also at the same time still incorporating some of a comic booky feel to the design as well. And overall, this is kind of the go-to design that I would go for if I were to be designing the Joker. So to me, this is going to be our kind of baseline Joker. Of course, there are other variations of the Joker within the game itself, but today we're sticking to all custom designs. So this is our brand new The Joker, really the baseline that we're going to work off of. So why don't we get a little more cinematic on this next design? And this right here is the Joker as he is seen in the Suicide Squad movie. This is the Jared Leto Joker. Probably the least popular Joker take in the entire cinematic universe of Batman, just because I don't really know many people that actually like this design. I personally was not a big fan of it whatsoever, but I felt like it would only be appropriate to include it in this showcase of different Jokers that we're going to be working our way through. So I felt like we could go on ahead and come up with our own take, a Lego version of Jared Leto. I did go on ahead and give him a baseball bat as the weapon of choice. I think it kind of fits this particular character. He did always have that cane in a lot of the promo pictures and such, so I guess maybe the baseball bat is about as close as we could get to like a cane-sized weapon. So I think that works on two different ways. And of course, the other thing that we went for is kind of the silver jacket that he wears instead of the long purple trench coat. So obviously you could go with that design as well, but I felt like to make him look unique compared to the other Jokers, because there's going to be a lot of purple on his costume anyhow, why not go with a different version? Next up, all I have to say is why so serious? This right here is my take on the Heath Ledger Joker. Now, of course, obviously, I could have gone for the, once again, all purple trench coat design and go for that particular variation, but I really thought that that's a design that's been done by many people, including myself on previous live streams and such. So I wanted to try to do a different take this time, and instead I chose to do the police prison scene, basically like the interrogation scene where he has the kind of like vest and shirt over top of it, or sorry, the vest over top of the shirt. And so that's kind of the design that I decided to go for with this particular design. I did use the longer hairstyle as well. I think that this actually does work quite well for the Joker, and I decided to use the Batman animated series face print because I think that it is the closest to kind of Heath Ledger's makeup, where he didn't really have a whole lot of green on that makeup. It usually was just kind of the white face paint along with the smudged kind of black and red face paint. And so I think that this one captures that a lot better. And overall, I'm really happy with how this particular design turned out. Next up, we are going to the New 52. So this is Joker as seen in the New 52 storyline. So he kind of went through like some crazy storylines in the New 52, as well as some of the Scott Snyder run of the Death of the Family and that whole storyline that was written by Scott Snyder and illustrated by Greg Capullo. And I really wanted to try to do a design that is based on that Joker. So in that particular design, he had kind of the removed face thing going on. So that's why I feel like the Scarecrow design with like the patched up and stitched together look works really well here. And then of course he wore the mostly kind of all black tuxedo with the white gloves. So I think that that works really well. And I honestly think that out of all the designs that we have here today, this is definitely the one that looks the most menacing. So if you ever wanted the Joker to truly be scary, this is possibly the look that you want to go for. And so going from the very terrifying to the ultra goofy, this is Bat Joker. So essentially the idea behind this design is, what if Joker had become Batman? And that's pretty much the entire explanation behind this one. So I did want to go on ahead and essentially try to create that cowl or Batman look, but using green hair. And I think that this actually did work quite well. Still has the mask, so obviously still keeping his identity hidden, but you can see the face paint still on the jaw area. So I think that that's cool. I did give him baseball bats just because I feel like Joker, even if he were to become Batman, would never be using like batarangs and stuff like that. He would still probably use something a little bit more brutal, like a baseball bat. Or why, if you could use one baseball bat, not just go on ahead and use two of them. And then I did incorporate the iconic kind of purple costume the Joker is known for, but recoloring an existing Batman look. For this next design, I would like to welcome you to the Joker Empire, because this right here is Joker King. And the idea behind this one is to kind of do a bit of a medieval-ish take, but at the same time I wanted to go on ahead and pretty much design Joker as if he were a ruler of a kingdom. So that's why he's got kind of a more armored up, as you can see, very shiny look to the actual costume. And I think that this one actually did turn out really cool. I gave him a big giant staff for the weapon of choice, and decided to go with the, I think that's the Music Meister hat, but recoloring the hair green, of course, to still incorporate some of those iconic elements that you would see from the Joker himself. This one was a really cool take. And so for our next design, I think you probably have it figured out at this point, because boy oh boy is that character moving very quickly. This, of course, is going to be a combination of Joker and the Flash to give us the Speedster Joker, or Joker Flash. So here he is. I think that this one turned out really cool. I decided to go with the glowing kind of purple eyes because I think it captures the glowing elements that you sometimes get from like the lightning effects and things like that from all the different Speedster characters. So I think that that works. We still have incorporated the green hair into the costume, so I think that that looks super duper sweet. And honestly, I never thought that purple and red would look that cool here on the I think this is the, not Kid Flash, I forget which Flash variation this is, but basically we took the Flash costume, recolored it purple, and some of the remaining parts that were red already, kind of like dark red, work super duper well to create a very cool new take on the Joker. In the case of this next design, honestly, failing this city is exactly what he does, because this right here is a combination of Arrow or Green Arrow and Joker. So this is an Archer take on the Joker, and I have to say, I think that this one actually turned out super duper cool. When I started building this one, I thought it would not look all that great, because I was like, well, I don't know, maybe this one will look a little bit cheesy, or maybe will look very much just like pretty much like a Robin Hood or a Green Arrow recolored purple. But I have to say, it actually does look really cool, And the idea of Joker being an archer is a pretty cool concept. Again, if there was ever like a medieval sort of like storyline for Gotham City, I think this could be actually a pretty interesting take on the Joker. The only thing that stinks about this design is that the face expression is kind of a little bit too smiley, if that makes sense. Like, he looks a little bit too like a hero, I guess, more so than a villain. So that's a bit of a bummer, but I still do think that this is a really cool design. And obviously you have all the cool elements that take the Joker and combine him with a Green Arrow and marrying the different colors, designs, aspects of the character that you expect from each one, combining them together turns out to be really, really quite cool. Let's flip a coin and see how many people like this design, because this right here is Joker Two-Face, or Two-Face Joker, however you want to go on ahead and call him. So this was obviously a combination of both Two-Face and the Joker into one design. I honestly am not super duper happy with this particular design, just because I know that a lot of people will probably say that he actually looks pretty much just like a different take on Two-Face. And to be fair, I think that that is true, because I just think that unfortunately, when I came up with this idea, I was like, oh, I think this could be really cool, actually combining Joker and Two-Face. And the idea of using the purple costume elements from the Joker here works. The green hair kind of works, but I guess maybe it's the face, like having to use Two-Face's face, and I think that it's kind of a must in this particular design. I think really makes it look a lot like Two-Face, so Two-Face almost kind of like overbears this design, and he becomes the more dominant character instead of the Joker. But I am curious to hear what you guys think. I think that this design probably would have worked a little bit better had the game allowed us to recolor the other part of Two-Face's face, so that the scarred part, if we could have recolored that to, let's say, maybe a purple color or maybe a green as well, I think we could have done a much better job of capturing more of the Joker, more so than Harvey Dent. And so the year is 3000, and Joker still rules over Gotham City with an iron fist. Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is Mecha Joker, or I guess Robo Joker, however you want to call him, Cyborg Joker, whatever you want to come up with. Essentially, this is pretty much a mechanical or a robotic variation of the Joker, where some of his biological parts remain, but then at the same time I tried to incorporate more of a robotic feel to this one, so you can see that he can't even, let's say, breathe without the assistance of this backpack that he has to wear. And then, of course, you can see that he's got one mechanical eye, and part of his head has been replaced by a robotic component. I think that this is one of the coolest designs of the entire bunch. I did give him these like futuristic looking blasters just because I think that it looks cooler than the more traditional weapons. And plus, to me, this really is kind of a future version of the Joker, even though I know Joker does appear in a futuristic take of Batman in the world of Batman Beyond. But I think that that Joker still pretty much looks very traditional, and there's nothing particularly different to that Joker than the Joker that Batman deals with as Bruce Wayne. And so I wanted to go on ahead and go even further into the future and essentially come up with this very, very cybernetic variation of the Joker. Really happy with how this one turned out, and I am super duper stoked to hear what you guys think of Mecha Joker. And in the post-apocalyptic version of Gotham, maybe Gotham-pocalypse or something, this is Joker Punk. So this is pretty much a Mad Max version of the Joker. And I think that this one turned out really cool. Instead of going for like a baseball bat, I just gave him a big giant bat that is like pretty much a stick. And I think that it works really well, as though maybe it has even spikes on it and such. Of course, speaking of spikes, you got that spiked hair rocking and rolling. And once again, the classic Joker face print. The rest of the costume almost has a bit of a gesture kind of style, so it's got that very, very old school combining with the futuristic post-apocalyptic feel. And I think that this one turned out really cool. Again, a very different take on the Joker character, and that was one thing that I definitely kept in mind as I was building these different designs, is I really wanted to make sure that each one stood out and was unique. the point here was not to try to create designs that just looked good, quote unquote, in terms of like, oh, well, it's the Joker. I really did want to try to create new takes on the Joker, something that we haven't seen, along with some designs that we have, of course, seen in iconic moments, whether it be in films, video games, or comics. And so, for our last look, I felt like it was only appropriate to go on ahead and do a take of Joker as the classic Red Hood. So this is obviously a tribute to Joker before he even becomes Joker, when he was just known as the villain of Red Hood. So for those of you that are like, wait, but I thought Red Hood is a different character. Yes and no, it's complicated. There's been lots of comic book history, but essentially this is the classic Joker moniker that he took on before becoming the Joker. He was known as the Red Hood, or at least in one of the storylines he was known as the Red Hood, because again, we don't actually know exactly who the Joker is, and that's kind of the thing that makes him the Joker. So that's always been part of the mythos for the Jokers, that you never are supposed to know exactly who he is. But I think that this design turned out super duper cool. One of my personal favorites. I love the way that this one came together. Really a cool take on the, of course, character of Red Hood Joker. Let me know what you guys think of this one down in the comment section below. And of course, ladies and gents, don't forget to leave a like on today's video. Let me know which of the 12 Joker designs is your personal favorite. And like I told you before, I challenge you guys to not only come up with your own suggestions for new Joker designs, but to actually go on ahead and build them yourself within the LEGO DC Supervillains universe. And then tag me on Instagram and Twitter to share what you guys come up with. With all that in mind, thanks all for watching today's video. I will hopefully catch y'all here next time. Peace out. See you laters, alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.